Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Kev. I am an editor, but I do like to cover creators that inspire me or that inspire some of you guys. So this next creator, Jinton, I think that's how you pronounce it. I was watching a bunch of her videos just to make sure I got it right, and I think that's how you pronounce it. If it is wrong and you guys know the correct way to pronounce it, please let me know down in the comments. But I did have a subscriber comment on one of the videos asking me to cover her stuff. So shout out to you, Corey, for, exposing me to a creator that you enjoy. And by the looks of it, her stuff is amazing. She is a Swedish artist, musician, and filmmaker. Overall, just a great creator. So the video that I do want to kind of go over and cover is this. It's called Living with the Nordic Vampires. And let's just get right into it.
Hey, my loves. Here comes a little
Okay,
summer.
so right in the beginning, audio. And you know what? I should preface a lot of this stuff. With a creator like this, when you see, that they're a musician, an artist, singer-songwriter, music and audio go a long way. So the use of her audio in this is amazing. But the thing that I love about her stuff as I was watching it is the writing. I'm the worst writer in the world, so I can appreciate good writing. And, with all the silent vloggers that I have been covering, this is a little refreshing. So
We are in the last month of summer now, but it's still so green and flowers everywhere.
this is a really cool shot just because it's going against the sun. So you get these lens flares. A lot of times people will shoot things against the sun to get one silhouette. Or if you're going with the sun, that's roughly when you would want to shoot. So, using natural light when you're shooting on things. But there's certain things and aspects to it, especially with the drone shots. You love seeing the sunlight. You love seeing the horizon with the sun or the moon or anything like that. So
If I could describe how the months of summer feels like from my perspective,
there's like a really good composition here. What I like to see is like even with colors too, you have the water, which is like really blue, right? So you have like the water that's blue, but then you have the green here, right? And then she's sitting on this rock. And like, look how she almost splits the colors with her body.
I would say that June is like taking a deep breath in, filling my heart with beauty and new energy.
So she says June is taking like a deep breath in, and then you can hear the audio or her actually in studio going, breathing in. But in terms of the shot as well, she cuts the shot almost down the middle with the horizon. And like, look, there's like just the sky, and then she's very lowered. Traditionally, not a lot of people get a shot like that where it's just like from the shoulders up, but it works, all right?
And August is breathing out.
God dang.
The tension and expectation.
And August is breathing out. So she talks about breathing in June and then breathing out in August, and them only getting a certain amount of summer months. And same thing here, right? So you have like the line. That was a bad line. Horrible line, Kev. Still like on the bottom of the frame, and then just like this beautiful scenery in the back.
Slowly releases.
Listen to
its
the audio of the
grip.
water.
And as the hype of summer comes
Even though
down,
this is a slow-mo
I feel that
shot.
I can move out.
So there's a lot of good techniques with stuff like this where a lot of people use slow motion to really get a nice cinematic feel, but use really clean audio. So this is running water like in real time. But obviously the shot is slow-mo, and you don't really pick that up unless you like actually intentionally are doing it. But as a viewer, it just kind of works.
And they are all needed for the balance. But I have to admit that the end
This one is beautiful too. Obviously them centered, but like, do you see the rings around the ripples? It almost draws your eyes to them.
and one of the best things about the late summer is that all the hard work you did earlier in the year finally gives fruit.
Okay, so that was really cool in terms of storytelling. So, see, she talks about this, and then the scene changes, and it's almost in the same exact spot of it being shot because you could tell by the buildings here.
Hard work finally gives fruit.
So I'll pause it right there, and you can almost see it right here, like the building, and then when you see the houses here, it's a little off, but you get the idea in terms of it being a time lapse. And it just completely changes. You essentially see 3 seasons, which is amazing. The music really starts to pick up here. A little bit of real audio of them laughing. And just this like different, it's like so much different things going on, different weather types. What she's doing here is like she's showing transitions of things from seasons and the things that they're doing and things growing. But the use of multiple shots here, you know, right here is this shot a little bit wider, watering. Love this wide shot. So 3 different shots. And then the next shot is like the transformation. Detail shots, close-ups to other things that she was working on. The lighting here is like perfect. All of this is just black. You know, just shadow. I don't know if that's the color correction, but the blacks are really, really crushed. Usually when you shoot shadows, you could still see a little bit of the light seeping in. But this really gives emphasis to her, right? She's like completely in the sun.
But also wildflowers and areas where nature is in full charge.
Okay, so right here, it almost feels like the camera is on autofocus because you could see her walking in and she's blurry and then she comes into focus. I actually thought that it was set on manual and she walked into focus because, like, you know, these are in focus here. So that means that by the time she gets to here, she should be in focus. But you could kind of see the lens adjust a little bit.
Flowers and areas where
like there. So like look now at what was in focus before and now it's out of focus and she popped into focus. And the reason why this is important is because if you ever buy a camera, start upgrading your camera, a lot of people don't really talk about the focusing features of lenses. If you want things to focus this fast, you are spending a little bit more money and you need to really do your research on what cameras have a really fast autofocus time or what lenses are really good at autofocusing. I remember being frustrated trying to shoot a lot of different things and wondering like, why doesn't mine look the way that other creators do things? And it's like little details like that that you might not know, and hopefully that helps you a little bit in terms of if you wanted to get this shot specifically, what I would do, and if I didn't have an expensive camera, is I'd probably set the manual focus to where she's standing right now and then come from out of focus and just walk into it.
We have a really big garden.
Okay, here, really cool. See, like
The garden is just...
This is like, all of this, it almost brings your eyes to this open space where she's kind of walking through. So this slow-mo, like I said before, but you hear this sound, right? It's almost like a chime. And it almost makes it seem like that thing is the thing making that sound. So now it's, you know, a shot from her back, and then now it's a POV shot where it's supposed to emulate her walking. There, she just did a quick fade in. What happens here is, if you guys don't know how she did it, she set the camera, you record for a certain amount of seconds. I usually go for like 30 seconds. And then you lay over the 2 sets of footage, the one where she's in, and then you kind of fade the top layer in. However, that's a really good fade. It almost looks like maybe she rotoscoped. And when I mean rotoscope, it's like, you know, when people cut themselves out. Because, like, I'm trying to look at all the shadows and, like, if, you know, things have changed. But that's pretty good. Time lapse here. Different times. Different times, different... You know, it's dark, it's cloudy, there's an overcast. The music, showing a little love to the dog.
Dancing with gold.
Perfect. Perfect.
Of the people I've been.
It's raining now, and it's actually kind of nice. And some music.
Okay, that was a really nice touch where,
It's raining now.
you know, it breaks for rain and you can hear the audio.
It's raining now.
And what I'm thinking is, like, she maybe has like a tarp or something over the camera to protect the camera, and then you can hear it. That's why that sounds so loud. Because in my head, I'm like, man, there is no rain on this lens. This is crisp. And then when she puts the headphones on, she puts the music back in.
You built this deck, Johan, do you remember? It looks like it was 100 years ago you built it. Yeah. But it's only like 2 years ago.
Even her saying, like, it's only been like 2 years ago. But even she shows a clip for like 4 seconds, not even 3 seconds, just to like show the audience like this is him building it. It adds depth to the story as opposed to her just saying it. You know, you always want to emphasize with B-roll certain things that you talk about if you really want the video to have a little bit more life. And this shot, come on now.
The problem with being here though is that no matter how much mosquito repellent you have, they still gonna eat you alive. It's so much mosquitoes that you can't be outside for too long.
Very smart.
It's crazy.
I could see, look at all those mosquitoes, it's crazy. So as I was watching this, because I obviously clicked on the video because it was called Living with the Nordic Vampires, and I didn't know what that was. I have no idea. I was like, they're the real vampires. So as I'm watching it and I get to this part, I'm like, I get it. These blood-sucking mosquitoes. I get it.
Film on your hat.
Ugh. Come on now. Look at that.
No. This is insane.
This guy, she goes, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Nope." What a trooper.
Yeah, look at this guy.
She's like, "Yup, look at the sky." Anything for the wife, you know? What a
And
man. Oh, beautiful shots here. Shallow depth of field. She's showcasing her jewelry. They also have a jewelry line, so I'm gonna link all their stuff down below. A lot of effort that they do and craftsmanship that they do in when they're filmmaking and the jewelry, it looks like. So go support them. Okay, so this is crazy. Like, look at the colors here. I'm gonna say it's the same place. When you color correct, because this looks like the same place. You might not think it just because it looks completely different. But look at certain, like, okay, look at the trees here. You can see like the type of flowers, I guess, and this big rock, right? Because at first when I saw it, I thought that this was just I don't know, an ad or something that they shot somewhere else because it looked completely different. But you can see the trees up here. You know, the rock. There was the other rock here, and then like she definitely upped the saturation because look how green some of this stuff is, and then look how purple some of this stuff is. This too, the shot that she got, it's almost like she's trying to use the sun as the light that actually beams behind it to really focus on it, which is nice.
And it was really fun to be there.
You know, you step away a little bit and she's shooting in between this and this tree. It just kind of gives life to the video, because imagine those things weren't in here and it was just like her like this. Ooh, the audio. I love how she like kept this audio in of water, just powerful. Silhouettes of just silhouette and lighting from the sky.
Good night.
Right into the next day. She's like, "Good night." Right into the next day. Boom, music. Let's go. Now it's on. I don't know what we're doing today, but it's an adventure is all I know. So she goes from you know, regular speed, regular motion, slow motion. I think she has two different cameras at that point. She's shooting a little bit lower and then she's shooting higher. So you can see that she uses two different cameras here. One capturing, you know, this and then this. And I feel like it is because what she's shooting here is the shots that she shot earlier of her in the water. So you can actually kind of tell. This is the shot that's on the tripod filming her. And then the shot where it's slow-mo is the one on the floor. Because look how leveled the water is.
The next day, I spent many hours by this lake.
So she talks about the next day. This is like the last part of the trip that she's taking. And she's writing here. But what I notice is like in the beginning, this whole sequence is used in the beginning as well. Her sitting here.
Hey, my loves.
So
Here
when you're
comes
creating and
Annalise.
telling a story, you don't have to have anything in chronological order. What this almost feels like is by the end of her trip, she's like writing her thoughts down. And then like essentially this is like the beginning of the video, but it's also at the very end. So it's like anything that happened is like she's writing her thoughts here. which is also here. And then she's just like reminiscing about all the things that she has done. And she shows us throughout here. The beginning part, this part is a montage. So you'll see a lot of the shots that she uses here, right?
That June is like taking it.
A lot of the shots that she uses here in this beginning montage, you see these shots throughout the video.
The most intense month of the whole year.
You know, even here when she's shooting her feet, this was towards the end.
My shell again. Each
this was like in the middle when they went out onto the dock.
They are all needed for the balance. But I have to admit that.
So it's almost like she wrote the idea of this whole video when she was sitting here. She's showing us in the beginning, but she's also doing a montage in the beginning, and then she shows us the rest of the story, you know, throughout the whole video. So I thought that was really cool. If you're a creator, you never really have to do anything in chronological order. Sometimes, and think of people telling stories. When people are good storytellers, they have punchlines, or they say something that has happened, and then they'll tell you why it's happened. It's like the most basic form of storytelling. If you are a good storyteller verbally, or if you know anyone, or comedians are really, really good at storytelling because they use that technique where nothing is ever really in chronological order, or they'll say something or a reason and a reaction to why things have happened. So think about that when you are making your videos and your films, is that you can mix and match some of the videos, some of the ideas that you have, and tell a really, really good story. So if you guys enjoyed this, please hit that like, subscribe. And if you guys want to see any other creators, any other breakdowns, please comment down below. I'd appreciate it. Take it easy. Peace.